Welcome to the kitchen at Middleton Cross Plains Cromery Middle School. Today we learn basic knife skills and use them to prepare Wisconsin-grown dark leafy greens that you can use in your salad bars and other recipes for your school meal program. Let's start with our greens. We'll be using romaine, green curly kale, spinach, and chard. All of these leafy green vegetables credit for the dark green vegetables subgroup. Sliced leafy greens can be a staple for your school salad bar. If you don't have a salad bar, no problem. A finished salad like the one we'll make can be a vegetable side or easily packed in a clamshell for grab-and-go lunches. You can also easily incorporate chopped greens, especially kale, chard, and spinach, into cold grain salads or even soups or baked dishes like lasagna. When incorporated into these dishes, romaine, chard, spinach, and kale may contribute to the dark green vegetable subgroup in a fun and innovative way. We'll begin as always with clean, washed hands. Dirty hands can transfer bacteria to our food. Now, let's wash these greens. We'll insert the stopper in the vegetable preparation sink. Holding the lettuce by the root end, we will plunge it up and down and agitate gently in the water. Do not soak greens in a water bath, as this will decrease the quality. Shake gently and lay on a drain board. Drain well using either paper towels or by placing them root end up in a colander. You can prepare greens 2 to 3 days ahead by using this process and then placing the greens in a plastic storage container with paper towels for drainage. We'll talk more about this later. Our recipe for today is good and green kale salad. But before we get to the recipe, let's talk some about knife skills. We have all been using knives throughout our cooking lives. Did you know there are professional techniques to make our knife work easier? It all starts with the right knife for the job. Knives are sized for blade length, and selecting the appropriate size will make your work much easier. Most of our work will be done with a common chef's knife, designed to allow you to easily chop against your cutting surface. To start, always use a cutting board. Do not cut against a metal surface or a tabletop. This will dull your knife. Place a damp towel underneath to prevent the cutting board from slipping on your stainless steel surfaces. Always use a well-sharpened knife. Sharp knives require less pressure and are less likely to slip. They cut more cleanly and evenly too. Hold the knife by pinching the wide end of the blade between your thumb and index finger, wrapping your other fingers around the handle. Use a slightly firm, not tight grip on the knife. This will help you cut accurately and will keep your hand from getting tired. The product to be cut should be placed always with the flat side down. The hand holding the product should be loosely clawed. This way, if the knife does slip, it will glance off your fingers instead of cutting them. Always cut away from yourself as you slice and chop. Now, to help us prepare our different greens, let's welcome Therese Allen, local food author and chef, and my kitchen friend.
Hi, Susan.
Hi.
It's great to see you again.
So let's start with our freshly washed spinach.
All right. I like to do it like this. I just cut off most of what the stem is here, but then there's little bits of stem that are left, and those are sweet and juicy and delicious. And then you can just roll them into kind of a stack like this. How big do you want them, Susan?
Well, it would depend on the age of the child that you're serving. So younger children in grades K-5, you might want smaller pieces, but this would be for high school, so we would go with adult sizing.
How's that look?
Looks great. These are ready to be placed directly in a serving container to go out on a salad bar or to be mixed in a mixed green salad. We could also add them to soup.
Oh yeah, the spinach would go right in there and kind of melt and get cooked really fast and delicious.
I generally add fresh spinach to soup after it is removed from the heat so that the spinach simply wilts and all of the great nutrition is retained. Wonderful color. For romaine, we'll place one head on the cutting board. We'll remove any outer leaves that are damaged. We'll cut the head in half and then in quarters, removing the core. You can see that Therese is pulling them into a line, holding them together, and simply chopping through in the size that she wants in her salad dish. These greens are now ready for the salad bar, for mix in a mixed green salad, or to be held for no longer than 1 to 2 days in your cooler. So now we're going to look at the leafy green kale, and you will notice that we have 2 varieties. We will de-stem the kale.
Should I start with the curly kale?
Sure. And then roll it into a bunch, and using the knife techniques that we discussed earlier, simply chop it into edible pieces. And there you have it. And the same for the second variety.
This is the lacinato. Just going to take that one stem out there.
These kale varieties taste very similar. They have a somewhat different texture. And then look at that wonderful color that'll be going into your salad mix. Then on to chard. We have some beautiful chard today. You'll note the color, the yellow and the red stems.
Is this the stuff they call rainbow chard?
It is rainbow chard, and it is a completely edible plant. So Therese will simply take off the stem ends, making sure that we get all of the dehydrated part removed, and then she's going to chop those, and they're going to add color and additional nutrition to our salad mix.
Do you want these pretty small, Susan?
Yes, I think so. Swiss chard stems are sweeter and milder in flavor, and because of that, much more acceptable to children than the kale stem, which has a tendency to be bitter and somewhat tough.
Now I'm going to roll and slice the leaves.
Yes, looks beautiful.
Small ones or big ones?
I think whatever you think will blend in our salad. And you can see the color that this will add to your leafy greens. So let's just add that to this beautiful bowl of Wisconsin greens.
Wow.
Good enough to eat.
Wow. Beautiful.
When greens are cut, their storage life is much shorter. To best store unused leafy greens, meaning whole leaves, you can place wash leaves or heads in a plastic container lined with paper towels and cover with a slightly damp paper towel before setting the lid. These are stored in the cooler for up to 3 days. Be careful not to blend different types of leafy greens as their flavors transfer during the storage process. Isolate your kale and chard products to preserve their spicy flavors for last-minute additions to your salad. Now, on to our delicious salad. The recipe calls only for kale, but we've gotten creative and we're going to use our wonderful salad blend. We'll start the dressing. So combine lemon juice, salt and pepper, and mix thoroughly to blend.
Are we doing honey in this one?
I think so.
All right, a little honey for sweetness.
We'll mix this all together to blend the flavors.
You know what I do sometimes? If I want it to get to be a really thick dressing, add a little mustard right now too.
An innovative idea for your future use. Now, Therese will blend in the vegetable oil, whisking to make sure that the emulsion forms and we have a thoroughly mixed dressing.
I'm just adding a little tiny bit at a time, and then as it starts to thicken up, I can add more, because that means that the emulsion's happening.
Freshly made dressings are my favorite. Inexpensive and wonderful flavors for your salad. So the dressing is complete, and Therese is going to pour the dressing over the salad, and then with gloved hands, we're going to mix the salad. We'll only add more dressing as needed. This will prevent the salad from getting soggy. Then we are going to add 2 cups of chopped Wisconsin apples. They've been tossed with about 2 teaspoons of lemon juice just to prevent browning. Now, we have a beautiful salad ready for your salad bar or service to your students in your lunch line. You could get innovative and include even more Wisconsin-grown products. How about dried cranberries to top it off?
Wisconsin's farmers are an important part of the state's landscape, food system, and economy. By using locally grown fruits and vegetables, you're not only sourcing the freshest ingredients possible, but you're helping to directly support Wisconsin's farm families and businesses across the state. Now, let's meet a farmer and learn about a successful relationship with one of your school nutrition peers.
Our first product from Lejeune Gardens, I believe, was tomatoes.
So, yeah, it was within the first year we were selling tomatoes, watermelon, and carrots. It just kind of blew up from there.
If I had to recommend anything, start small with all that and pick one product, try that out and go from there. That's how Farm to School started for us.
Hydroponics is soilless culture. The plants get everything they absolutely need. They have the best growing environment possible. So they're going to set the highest quality, most uniform, best tasting fruit that you can get.
One of the products we really like working with is the hydroponic lettuce and spinach, because it's not grown in soil. We're not dealing with dirt. So once our staff gets it, they can wash it, they tear it up, it's ready to serve. Hydroponics is a huge advantage for schools because we live in Wisconsin and the growing season is basically when the kids aren't in school.
Our season is greatly extended. In our area, deep here in Wisconsin, we can get tomatoes from May, usually through December-ish, somewhere around there. I usually have fruit until about the first of the year.
The lettuce was a huge asset in the spring. You know, at the time of year when most people are working with real limp, bland-looking lettuce, we had great, colorful lettuce that we were serving on our lunch lines, and the kids just loved it.
We get kids coming to the farmers markets with their parents now, and their parents tell us, "Oh, we never used to come to farmers markets," and then the kids tell them about coming out here or getting the stuff on their school line, and now they go to the farmers market and buy their produce there. And it's almost like they didn't know that farmers markets were a thing until their kids are telling them about it. So they're definitely bringing the message home. It's a pretty cool thing to have a parent, tell you that their whole lifestyle, their eating lifestyle has changed because of things that their kids are getting at school and what they're learning.
Thank you for joining Therese and I in the Middleton Cross Plains School Kitchen to review knife skills and make this delicious kale salad together. We hope that you can find creative ways to put these skills into practice in your kitchen.